Ben Adams, Rangers. It has been 100 days since Blast Defense Academy was released. Let us have a stream to celebrate. That was so stupid. Don't know how long I'll go. I don't even know what I'm doing, but this was kind of the spur of the moment. Oh, I see. Where's... Where should I start? Uh, could start up here. You know where I think... I don't know if it's logical, but... By the way, they finally released the update on Switch, which is nice, because that means quality of life stuff is... And oh, I can't. I don't want to lose anyone anymore. The battle is finally over. I want to carry on living with my friends here.
Uh,
Oh, then
Hi!
let's do what Siri says. I can't risk your lives any further.
huh.
Are you sure you won't regret this? I'm already full of regrets. That's why I want to protect what matters most. Right now, it's everybody here. I'm making this choice to protect all of you. Takumi. Hey, are you having fun talking about me? I don't know what you're jabbering on about, but I told you what happens after these, right? Once the school transitions to attack mode, you need to evacuate to the schoolyard where the escape pod will be, okay?
Hey!
I'll be on my way then. Thanks for the memories, folks. Sure, I left without a smile, and all I could do was watch him. A little after that, Nozomi showed up. Takumi, everyone.
Oh,
Nozomi, are you okay? Yes, I'm fine, but more importantly, your talk of Siri. Oh, you heard? Well, it's like I was saying. Thought about it, and I don't want to lose anyone else. I feel like this is our only option. So we just follow the plan they made for us? I know it's not right, but I want all of us to finish this together. That's my decision. See? Okay, if that's your choice, Takumi, then I'll accept it. We'll live with our guilt. I agree. We got no other choice. I don't want to die for a bunch of strangers. They'll hardly forgive us for invading their planet just because we stopped one attack. In the end, we just have to fight again. It'll only continue that way until we end up dead. You're right. I intend to follow decisions made by our team leader. I always have. Seeing as we've come this far, we might as well continue living, as ugly as we might be. We were all saying what we could to reaffirm our choice, but as we were talking... Certainly, Nozomi let out a pained whimper and collapsed with a thought. Nozomi! I hurried over and felt a burning fever emanating from her body. You're burning up! It's okay. It'll be over soon. It's like the cryptoglobin leaving my body is flaring up one last time. When this is over, the power of cryptoglobin will be gone. This is the end of my time of this power my mother gave me. That's how it should be. This is the real you. Immediately after that, strange music began to play through the speakers. What the heck is that? Think I know. Listen, it's music they play for graduation ceremonies and stuff. I've never been to a graduation, though. My teachers hated me, so I didn't get invited. So it started.
The most important moment of this operation will soon begin. Lost Defense Academy will now transition to attack mode.
Attack mode? What's going to happen now? Wait, be quiet. Do you hear that? It's mechanical. Something is running somewhere.
An omnidirectional attack will launch in 600 seconds. Special Defense Unit members, please evacuate to the schoolyard immediately.
Looks like it's time. Let's get to the schoolyard quick. If we stay here, we'll get caught up in the attack. Alright, let's get going. Those of us want to go together? Here, take my hand. Yeah, thanks. Hey, could someone let me hand too? I can't see, so I can't move very fast. Oh, for the love of murder. If you insist, but don't you dare tell me I reek or anything like that. Am I forgetting anything? Maybe I'll stop by my room before I go. So, following the announcement, everyone began to make their way to the schoolyard. I better get going, too. And after I got to the schoolyard, everyone else started to show up as well. What's the deal? Nothing's happening. I thought I was supposed to go into attack mode. No, look at that. Tsubasa pointed at the top of the school building. It's just like I'd seen last time. Several huge missile turrets jutted out from the top of the school building.
So, that's attack mode.
Those are some crazy-ass cannons.
They're going to launch a bunch of undying flame missiles all across the planet, huh?
A weapon that can destroy all life on an entire planet. What a terrifying force.
An omnidirectional attack will launch in 400 seconds. Leading up to the omnidirectional attack, all defenses will be rerouted to the intercept system.
Intercept system? Come to think of it, I heard this last time too. We never did find out what it meant. Oh, we did in we did in the other round. But I guess we don't need to worry about it anymore.
Special Defense Unit members, please board the escape pod in the schoolyard immediately. Repeat. An omnidirectional attack will launch in 390 seconds. Special Defense Unit members, please board the escape pod in the schoolyard immediately. An omnidirectional attack will launch momentarily. Please depart immediately after boarding the escape pod. Repeat. An omnidirectional attack will launch momentarily. An omnidirectional attack will launch momentarily. Please depart immediately after boarding the escape pod. Repeat. An omnidirectional...
Happen any second now. We gotta hurry. I don't want to be burnt to a crisp. Yeah. We just gotta get in that thing, right? Well, this boat's supposed to go to the artificial satellite. Will it be okay even if there's no satellite anymore? It's alright. I've reconfigured a destination. See, Ray? And at the very end, you're still appearing out of nowhere. I came to see you off and wish you bon voyage. Did you say you reconfigured our destination? No sense in sending you to the artificial satellite when it's been destroyed, right? There's no humanity left to meet you there either.
Huh?
So you did realize that? Thought the shock and know when they were gone broke you. I don't break, silly. And humanity isn't gone.
Aha!
We still have her, Miss Nozomi Kirifuji. Huh? The will of humanity wishes for Nozomi's survival. You're the last human left in this universe, after all. I had a conscious... Yep, I was right on how this may go in terms of what will of humanity meant when I wrote the essay. So after simulating the thoughts of all mankind, now that they've been wiped out, they want to stake all their hopes on Nozomi? Me?
Yeah.
Yes, it is the collective will and wish of humanity to ensure the survival of Nozomi Kirifuji, the last of the human race. That is also why we must complete the mission as planned. I doubt the people of this planet would let the last human survive unscathed. It's all for her, all for humanity. So this will all be because of me now? Everybody on this planet has to die because of me? Come on, the Futurans won't all be gone. We have 11 of them right here. You mean us? The mission has entered a new phase. Your survival is critical. What do you mean? Humanity has chosen a new path. And Akira Fuji is all alone. It is impossible for the human race to continue.
Hey.
So she'll instead coexist with you Futurans.
Aha.
The hope is that you will interbreed and create a new humanity.
Oh,
Interbreed? Of course, we'd like all of you to reproduce, not just Kirifuji. Human and Futuran survivors will begin a new era on this planet. A new era? With just the 12 of us? To be little babies together. I have some ideal parents in my head starting leave. Cut it out, man. This ain't no time for jokes.
Aha.
Anyway, that's your mission now. We're going to hit the reset button on this war, and you're going to build a peaceful world devoid of hate. Chosen few are going to purify this hideous, filthy world and build it anew? Girl, why you gotta say it like a corny villain?
Hey.
He's right though. This coordinated attack is not the aim. Rather, it's the beginning of a new history, a harmonious future for a new humanity, right here on this planet. It's a high price we're going to have to pay for this harmonious future. Yeah, even if they do say that there's no creation of... Yeah, even if they do say there's no creation without destruction. This was your choice, wasn't it? You wanted to live on hand in hand with your friends? That's exactly why the will of humanity trusts you with your new mission. He's right, we chose this. I've already made my decision. I'm going to live on with everybody here, no matter what happens. We all want that. Just have to make it work.
120 seconds until the omnidirectional attack. Commencing countdown. Special Defense Unit members, please board the escape pod in the schoolyard immediately.
Yeah.
Looks like it's almost time. Then I'll be saying goodbye for now. For now, undying flames only affect living creatures, so I should be fine as long as the blast doesn't send me into space. Well, only one way to find out. See you later, if I'm still in one piece. Because it's the name of the treasure. It was then I suddenly felt it, his presence. Looks like I'm just in time. Shion, you came! Yeah, but I don't have much power left. I really only have time to say goodbye. You owe this last bit of extra power to the lack of unnecessary disruptions. I'm I'm sure all of you were conflicted, but I'm glad you made this choice. One thing I want more than anything is for all of you to live on. That's my whole reason for being. Shion! It'd be cruel of me to call you cruel for this choice. Because I feel that your lives are more important than the lives of strangers. Yes, this is really goodbye. Everyone, thank you for everything, and farewell. You've fought enough. Please live your lives happily and joyfully. And with that, Shion vanished, like a flame being extinguished. Shion! Happily and joyfully. As much as I want to grant Shion's last request, it's just not going to happen. We knew far too much to live out our future with any sense of cheer or joy. We lost far too much, and we'd slaughtered far too many. The idea of ever smiling from true joy again was like an impossible dream.
Yeah.
No, you can do it. If you want to, that is. Huh?
60 seconds until the omnidirectional attack. Commencing countdown. Repeat.
Let's aboard the escape pod launched into the emptiness of space. We were completely overwhelmed by the sights unfolding outside the windows, unable to speak. And then, we were just as overwhelmed by the beauty of the planet we'd made our exit from. That's the planet Futurum. The planet both humanity and the Futurans risked everything for. Its overwhelming majesty was so powerful that it seemed to consume all life and death. It was so beautiful that it made me feel afraid. The very next moment, my vision was instantaneously dazzled by a flashlight. The bombing had begun. The planet was enveloped by Shion's flames. Every last person residing on it burned to ash. This is the ending we chose. The very realization made me tremble and sob uncontrollably. In any other situation, I'd never forget this moment for the rest of my life. Right. In any other situation. Sorry, I said had said one last thing as the countdown drew nearer to its end in the schoolyard.
Yeah.
We'll help you make your new world if you really need it. I'll help you. I'll help you live your life without pain. What do you mean? Perhaps he's going to overwrite our memories. Our memories? Already a new scenario for you in the infirmary before you're back. If you accept it, you can forget all of your pain. You'll live a new life in this school. It may confuse you at first, but I'm sure you'll be able to live happily and joyfully, just like Shion wanted. What? All those memories would be lies. What's wrong with memories that aren't real? If reality hurts too much, you can turn to fiction instead. You can live happily in a world of lies. There is no value in knowing what is or isn't true. What's important is how you feel and how you connect to it. Connect it to your future.
Yeah.
All of this so you can live happily ever after, hand in hand.
Oh.
I won't force you, of course. Think about it while you're on your way back. The light that had once been so bright it lit up the vacuum of space slowly began to fade. What remained afterwards was a planet that looked completely unchanged. And yet, it was entirely different. It was empty now. No elders, no youths, no children. All of them gone. If it's true that planets have minds of their own, I wonder what this one is thinking. Will it accept us after everything we've done? I don't know. I have no idea, but we have no choice but to live on. We're the ones who have to press on and believe in our decision. I already made up my mind. Oh, this isn't Sedum.
You told me that we should go a separate way, so now you go there. But I go straight through this way, turn back the clock, break through the air, reset my everything. Yeah, it's true. I wanna know what I wanna do, so I do that before the light fades away. Oh, never give up, 'cause I wanna know where is the next place. I just wanna live my life. The days repeat and the memory is real. Yeah, it's true. I wanna know what I wanna do, so I do that before the light fades away. Oh, never give up, 'cause I wanna know where is the next place. I just wanna live my life. The days repeat. Run they run, run they run, run they run like a gazelle. I choose
I wonder if this is Carousel? So everything I've got ever, I don't know what the name of this route is. I don't think it's one that Carousel's plays, but I know plays for. That ending was about what I expected.
I'm being saved. Yeah, it's true. I wanna know what I wanna do, so I do that before the light fades away. I will never give up, 'cause I wanna know where is the next place. I just wanna live my life. The days repeat. Run they run, run they run, run they run like a gazelle. I chase and then they burn. Spin it round, spin it round, spin it round like a gazelle. I grasp and then let go. You told me that we should go a separate way, so now you go there. But I go straight through this way, turn back the clock, breathe through the air, reset my everything. I don't stop, no, I'm rising to the top. Watch me shine, baby, I ain't never gonna drop. Life's a curse, but I'm leading every speed. Chasing all my dreams.
Chinese localization. Okay.
Watch me win. Run they run, run they run, run they run like a
And
gazelle.
maybe this is Carousel based on the
I chase and then they
lyrics.
burn. Spin it round, spin it round like a gazelle. I grasp and then let go. Run they run, run they run, run they run like a gazelle. I chase and then they burn. Oh, spin it round, spin it round like a gazelle. I grasp and then let go.
Not even half an hour and an ending already. Whoa. Aw. Where
Where am I?
Alan's voice. Came to my head resting on a hard wooden desk. My head still felt fuzzy as I tried to make sense of my surroundings.
A classroom?
Did I fall asleep at my desk? Is this my desk? How did I even get here? I don't remember a thing.
What happened to me?
Looking around the classroom only brought more questions. Several others my own age were also here, each of them slumped over a desk, just like I'd been a moment ago.
Huh?
Why is his eyes normal? Huh? Where am I? Who are you guys? Sierra? He fixed his genetic or DNA stuff, didn't he? Get here! I never met any of them before. Judging from the uneasy glances they were all throwing around, nobody else seemed to know each other either. So what is this place anyway? Some kind of messed up classroom? More importantly, I don't know why, but I can't remember anything. Huh? I don't remember anything either. All I know is the pretty girl next to me is my little sister. Where am I? Who am I? I'm in the same boat. All I can remember is that I'm a beautiful pro wrestler. Pro wrestler? Well, that's why she's dressed like that. Looks like everyone here has amnesia then. Amnesia? How are you so chill about it? Guess I just have that kind of personality. How bizarre. We only remember some parts of our personalities and characters. For me, I remember I was raised in a family of physicians, but nothing else. I only remember that I was really popular in class. I remember is how much I love humanity. He loves humanity? What does that even mean? The kind of thing about me is I was raised in your average family in average way, so I don't really have anything in particular. Before the boy could finish, something interrupted him. Words appeared in the blackboard with the sudden chime of a bell. Greet your commanding officer? Did someone say commanding officer? What is that? It is my pleasure to welcome you all to Last Defense Academy. Last Defense Academy?
Yeah.
You're all trained through this academy for a very special reason. Transfer. I have a mission for you to carry out here at our fine institution. Something we need you to protect at all costs, and that is yourselves. We want you to protect yourselves. Ourselves?
Yeah.
You see, you are the final 12 survivors of an annihilated world. An annihilated world? Final survivors?
So you just have one important responsibility to handle here. You need to stay alive no matter what. You'll need to develop this planet and create a new civilization. You'll have to build this world from the ground up. You're free to develop facilities that can withstand environmental threats, or even to grow new organisms using synthetic DNA. You'll make friends, fall in love, and sometimes maybe even fight with each other as you join hands and live caring lives. Yours is not to reason why. Yours is just to live your lives. Now get out there and live like you've never lived before.
So I said ending within half an hour. Okay. So let's reset. What's the name of it? That was reset, I figured. Let's see here. Which choice is this? Allowing Naito to join. Just wanna continue to fight for humanity. Allow Naito to rejoin. Well, I can't deny I am curious to see what happens if I say no to Naito. May not be doing full straightforward all of these. I'm just currently just how things are going. I'm going to be jumping around most likely later. Sorry, Aito, but I just get it. You don't have to spell it out.
Huh?
What?
Oh.
My other senses have been greatly heightened now that I've lost my sense of sight. I already know what you're going to say next, just from your general vibe.
Huh.
I also sense how agonizing this decision is for you. So, it is enough. You don't have to say anymore. I'm not interested in putting you in yet another painful position. Aito. Who could blame you for not wanting me to join, right? Glitched memories embedded in me may have been the root cause, but it doesn't change the fact that I chose to do what I did. But you destroyed your own eyes, too. I did it because I wanted to, and certainly not to garner sympathy. I knew something like this wasn't going to be enough to regain your trust. I knew it wouldn't conveniently make us friends again. I knew all this, but I still couldn't stop myself from holding out hope. I may lie to people on the outside, but I never lied to myself. It goes against my nature. Can I see the report card real quick? I want look at something. Okay, the bond rings did reset. Figured. Now that's settled. If you don't allow this public nuisance to be a hasty retreat, retreat where? You're gonna leave with your eyes like that? The invaders would get you. Ugly concern is most gratifying, but there's no need to spare me any. Like I mentioned, my other senses have been greatly heightened. I expect to have no issues handling any invaders I come across.
Oh.
Also, this won't be my first time leaving the academy. I probably know more about the outside world than any of you. It's still too dangerous. Just because I don't want you back on the team doesn't mean I want to force you to leave this whole school. Promise to stay in your cell and not interfere with any of us. You can stay. Have you forgotten this facility was built for the Special Defense Unit? It is no place for someone who doesn't belong. Am I right, Sira?
Yeah.
Atsuki is correct. Anyone not recognized as an ally is naturally viewed as a dangerous enemy. An element that can only work to our detriment and never to our benefit. Therefore, you must leave. That makes it easier for me to get over my feelings too, now that I no longer have to put up with your unbearable voices and smell. You little piece. Always the same, right down the end, eh? I shall be responsible for seeing you all. I expect you haven't gotten used to your newfound blindness yet, and it may need a little bit of help getting around. This is my duty and obligation as your commanding officer. Commanding officer has spoken. The rest of you can just stay put. Not like I could see your hideous mugs even if you did come. Besides, there is something I need to speak about in private with Sirai before I leave. With me? If you don't mind, consider it my last wish.
Yeah.
Very well, you may tell me along the way. We are still considered a member of the Special Defense Unit while on school grounds. Thank you. Very much obliged.
This is goodbye. Forever. You miserable freaks. And you may not think me sincere when I say this, but I pray from the bottom of my heart that you will win this war. Good luck.
For that, under Siria's guidance, I made my way carefully through Last Defense Academy and totaled. I'm playing as Aito now? Ah, I see.
Yeah.
Oh. Here are a few. This is the Zero Escape room from DR2, basically. Uh-oh. Here are a few days' worth of rations as a farewell gift from me.
Huh.
Wow, this is surprisingly thoughtful coming from someone who only really cares about victory. I continued conversing with Siri as I walked next to him in darkness. May have been the first time we had ever spoken at leisure.
Huh.
Manifestation of guilt for embedding those glitches into my brain. The effects were inevitable. Brain, especially the human brain, is a complicated organ no one completely understands yet.
Huh?
It was no mean feat getting everyone combat ready with the limited time and resources available to us.
Well,
There was no time for multiple rounds of tests or verifications, though we did conduct an endless amount of simulations. Yeah, even with that, out came someone like me. I don't know what to call this, but destiny. After Siri and I finished talking, I left. After Siri and I finished talking, I left Last Defense Academy behind. I remained cautious of my bedarkened surroundings as I moved through the city ruins, using my feet to feel the rubble. Though I had proudly declared I could handle myself, moving around in total darkness was still rather mentally straining. Darkness. 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 Everywhere I went, I was greeted by pure, unadulterated darkness, with not a speck of light to be found. Couldn't be sure what was on the road ahead of me. Did anybody come see me off? Even though I said there was no need. Maybe someone watched me walking away from school until they could see me no more. No, that's not possible. What am I hoping for? No one there cares about me. I'm nothing but a traitor, bugged to betray. Then again, this terrible defect reflected the repulsiveness of its creator, mankind itself. Yet I was equally repulsive for allowing them to lead me by the nose all this time. By the time I realized that, it was way too late to do anything about it. Kept walking. My destination was second to Last Defense Academy. Siri had given me directions on how to get there when I left. Said it would give me a place to hide from inclement weather, and that there were probably leftover rations there as well. Siri likely told the others I'd be heading there. Once I learn I won't be ending up in a ditch somewhere, those who had been even the tiniest bit of concern about my welfare would surely be able to breathe easier. Personally, I'd rather they not feel a single shred of guilt, even if anything should happen to me. They didn't chase me out. I decided on my own that I would leave. Almost Siri had given me directions. Wandering through the ruins outside, I couldn't tell for the life of me whether I was going in the right direction. But if I wanted to keep going, I had to put faith in the path I had drawn up in my mind. There was also one more thing keeping me going. I wanted to witness how things would turn out for the others on day 100. They were special to me, even if we didn't manage to become friends. Someone like me, who used to be disgusted at the mere thought of having to coexist with hideous humans. I now knew those were just fake memories implanted into me. Still, these were people with whom I had spent a staggering amount of time. And after discovering they were actually empty inside, that everything had been built on lies, they still chose to support each other and blaze a trail through destiny. There was nothing we could trust, no way we could lean on. Fake memories, fake goals, fake backgrounds, fake families, fake friends, fake love, and fake hatred. The vessels made of fabricated falsehoods. That was all we were. What could such people even believe in? Yet they chose to believe in each other and to fight for each other to the end. The revolting appearance, smell, and voices still disgusted me to no end, but feeling a camaraderie, I always mess that up. Camaraderie they felt was as real as they came. Watching them made me forget all I had done and start wishing. Wishing I could be part of that too. But they weren't naive. Gouging my eyes out as a show of my commitment was never going to be enough to convince them to let a repeat traitor like me onto the team. I've been ready to face rejection, but deep down, for just a short, fleeting moment, I entertained the thought that they might forgive me after all. Such an indulgent thought that was. When did I become so naive? But now was not the time to dwell on such thoughts. I had to focus on walking. I had to arrive somewhere as long as I kept going. All I could do now was to keep walking and pray that I would eventually reach the second campus. Right? No God would listen to the prayers of an empty shell like me. Looks like you may have... Yeah. Darkness clung to me. From the skies above to the ground below, all I could see was unadulterated darkness. No gradients, no flickering, just plain blackness. I read in a book that humans invented fire out of their fear of the darkness of night. When I read that, I mocked them as weaklings in my mind. The birth of fire led to the birth of war. Humans would burn themselves up in the very same fire they sought. They would have been a beast had they not created such a thing and simply endured the darkness of night. How weak and hideous. I remember thinking that once. Now, however, I knew how wrong I had been. It's not that they feared the night or failed to endure the darkness. They were afraid to not have light by their side. For light represented hope itself. And these eyes of mine would never see light again. Why was I feeling sad about that when I utterly despised everything I saw in this world? Alright, Second Defense Academy. Second to last. Oh, this place. After a few days of non-stop walking, I stepped into a facility that felt all too familiar to me. Right, this is... It would appear that I managed to reach second to last to the Academy after all. To be honest, I was beginning to wonder if Siri had deliberately given me wrong directions. Alright. Guess it's not as wicked as I've imagined. I naturally drifted in the direction of the cafeteria once I was inside. The layout of the school was almost exactly the same as the other one, like I had been told. This place would shield me from the elements as I waited out the remaining days. There would be no fighting. I only had to wait here in safety until the missiles were launched and everything was over. But there were over 10 days left. I'd have to live in darkness until then. Or there was a faster way to end things. I opened the heavy bag I'd been carrying and traced my finger along what was inside. 99 select not to wander when we're like no can't dare and somewhere and Argon also line when Andam Sinaga. I'm not German. I don't know German. I knew what it was even though I couldn't see it. An undying flame bomb Siri had developed. Activated using hemo anima and powerful enough to take out Veshnas. Speed transfer was still more than capable of reducing a human body to ashes. Skin, bones, hair, everything would disappear. If Veshnas comes for you, I'd like you to use... Let me try that again. If Veshnas comes for you, I'd like you to use this before she absorbs your cryptoglobin. That's what Siri said when he handed this thing to me. However, I was unable to discern his true agenda. Did he really want me to blow myself up and take out Veshnas with me, or... was he simply giving me a tool to euthanize myself like an animal? There you are. Run my finger over the detonator. The thing would end when I pressed this button while infusing hemo anima into it. I'd be freed from it all. Free from my fake memories, false hatred, and empty existence. Free from a man called Aito Outsuki.
Press it. Come on. That's all you have to do. Why can't you just press it?
My finger wouldn't respond, no how loudly and harshly I berated myself. But though I knew pushing the button was all I needed to do to be freed from this pain, I still couldn't do it. Wanting to witness how things turned out for the Special Defense Unit was merely an excuse. The actual reason I couldn't do it was because... When I realized what this feeling was, I had to laugh despite myself. I was afraid. Afraid, fearful, spooked, daunted, anxious, just scared stiff. Death frightened me even when I had nothing to live for. How not laugh at the irony of that? Death was no different from a life without purpose. Yet I feared it. I put the bomb on the floor, my hands trembling. Then I sat down on the floor as well and leaned against the wall. So I did. The fatigue from a few days of walking got to me and I felt groggy all of a sudden. Just as disconnected in the silent darkness. It'd be nice if death visited me now, so that I would simply slip into an eternal slumber, never to awaken again. No, I would never be allowed to enjoy such a peaceful end. 2 days later. What was that? An unfamiliar voice, screaming. I knew something was wrong when I woke up to that. I could always pretend like nothing had happened, but my feet were already moving in the direction of the screams. As I ran off, the smell of fire was so intense it was burning my nose. It was the stench of fighting. The screaming was coming from multiple people. Were they trying to get away from something? I ran into the schoolyard and focused my hearing on what was happening outside the school. I could hear multiple sets of footsteps getting closer. Since I couldn't see their exact locations, I simply waved in the general direction of the sounds. Over here! I kept waving. It seemed to work. The frantic footsteps became louder and louder. I raised my hands to indicate I wasn't holding any weapons. As I did, the approaching group stood a distance away from me. They were panting hard, as if they had been running for a long time. Wait a minute, who are these people? Definitely not the Special Defense Unit. Are they natives of this planet? Were you being chased? Nobody answered me. I didn't even know if we spoke the same language. Couldn't have been talking to me while I was chasing them, so... Invaders? You can hide here if you want. This place was destroyed a while ago. It's unlikely anyone will come looking for you here. Still no response, but I could sense they are listening to me. The cafeteria here is stocked with more than enough food for all of us. The mystery group wasn't moving at all. I didn't even hear them whispering among themselves. They're probably communicating with each other non-verbally. Trying to decide who would get to attack me first. After all, to the natives of this planet, I was the invader. In case you haven't noticed, I'm blind. I don't know how many of you are here and obviously won't be able to attack you. Still no response. Anyway, I'm heading back inside. Well, you intend to hide over here. Turned my back on the mystery group and started walking. I was completely defenseless. If they killed me, they could have this hiding spot all to themselves. Yet they followed me after me politely. When I staggered, they would even stop and wait out of consideration for me. One step at a time, I went farther into the building with a hand on the wall, taking care to use a route that could not be seen from the outside. Finally, I found myself back in the cafeteria with the mystery group in tow. This place should be safe. You can eat anything you find here. After that, I went back to my usual spot and sat down again. Where was my bag? I remember I'd left it here. Felt around the floor next to me with my right hand for the bag that contained the undying flame bomb. What was it? Where could it be? Thud. That's not good. Something heavy suddenly fell into my lap. Someone had placed something there. Gingerly touched it with my fingertips. It was my bag. You found it for me? I asked my surroundings, but received no response, like always. I put the bag in the shoulder so that I would never lose it again. Leaning against the wall, I let my hearing take over. I heard the second rummaging for food. Didn't seem like they were interested in attacking me for now. It's likely they would leave once the enemies that were after them went away. Then I would go back to waiting for day 100 here, all alone, so that I could witness the ending that everyone made for themselves. Sometime later, I heard the sound of a can being opened. Guess I decided to eat the food that was here. They stay at a cautious distance away, but were still close enough to keep an eye on me. I hope they got to eating something I liked at least. Since I couldn't see, I couldn't even choose the kind of food I wanted to eat. That reminded me of the 5 cans of pickled fish I had to eat in a row last night. I inadvertently nodded off, even though I hadn't been feeling particularly sleepy. This I fell asleep while being surrounded by an unknown number of natives. Perhaps it was because I felt no animosity from them. I could sense they were friends as they huddled closely together to eat and rest in this unknown place. Maybe they were sharing their favorite foods with each other. Maybe they were exchanging jokes with each other so quietly that I couldn't hear. Whatever it was, the atmosphere was like a comfortable blanket over my body, warming me up and making me sleepy. Like something I had once had myself up until a short while ago. How did I not realize sooner what a beautiful thing that late that night. Huh? Somebody was shaking my shoulders. Since I've been surrounded by a few people who are looking down at me. What is it?
Why are you here?
Oops. He was the voice of a child, a young girl who seemed to be about 8 to 9, a native of this planet, a future child. Thinking back, I realized I had never met anyone from this planet before, neither during any defensive battles nor when I was with Veshnas. Had they been isolated from the war? Maybe in a shelter of sorts like the Tokyo residential complex?
Why are you alone?
I'm turning that up.
Why are you alone?
You're last again. She was speaking as their representative. They were likely a group of children. I could sense weariness in her tone of voice. It was as if this was a tense cross-examination, and my responses would determine their next course of action. Well, one thing led to another, and I wasn't allowed to stay with my friends anymore. That's why I came here by myself. New voice. What happened? I did something bad and ended up hurting the others. That's why I can't stay with them anymore. On hearing me say something bad, Hiro took one step back, an astute decision. Are you forced out? No, I went away of my own free will. Still too dangerous. Just because I don't want you back on the team doesn't mean I want to force you to leave the whole school. You promise to stay in your cell and not interfere with any of us. You can stay. So like talking me into saying that. Just waver for a brief moment. I wanted to cling to those words, to selfishly feel like I had been forgiven. It's pointless for me to stay. I don't even belong there. I could never, ever forgive myself for doing the unforgivable to them. That's why I had to leave. You can't go back anymore? No, I can't go back anymore. That's why I'm here. What about you? Were you being chased by something? At that, I could hear murmuring from behind the girl. They seemed to be discussing whether or not to reveal the answer to me. Can't go back either. Why not?
Because we broke our promise.
She sounded so very sad. I didn't know what the other Futurians looked like, having only seen the commanders. But it seemed like they felt sadness, the same way we did. What promise did you break? not to go outside. But we all went anyway because we thought we'd be okay. But we got lost. Ended up in an unfamiliar place. Monsters kept chasing us and we got farther and farther away from home.
Huh.
And that was how you ended up here? I think she must have nodded. There were other people living on this planet besides the commanders and invaders. At the very least, these children probably had nothing to do with the war. Since they were being pursued, they were likely targets as well. They were targets, even though they had no way of fighting back, unlike us.
Huh.
You don't know how to go back? No. There should be a map somewhere in this facility. If you can find it, you may be able to find a way back home. I wish I could help you look for it, but as you can see, I won't be very helpful in that department. So feel free to look for it yourselves. The children, other than the girl in front of me, immediately scattered about in all directions, likely taking my advice to look for a map. There had to be a map somewhere around, since maps were indispensable for warfare. They would surely find one if they split up. Once they did, they were likely to depart by tomorrow, leaving me alone here to wait for the end by myself. I heard a soft thud next to me, indication that the girl in front of me moved to sit down next to me. Huh? She was so close that I could touch her if I just stretched my hand out. You're being way too trusty here, Missy. Or maybe she felt like I posed no danger because I couldn't see?
No chance of forgiveness.
Huh? Oh, you mean me? Yeah, aren't you sad you can't go back? Nah, it's too late for me. Why? Good question. Because the mistake I made was too big to be atoned for. Nobody will forgive me. That's why I can't go back. Okay. She started chomping down ravenously on an open can of food. Most likely, these children simply wanted to take a peek at what was going on outside and not plan to end up so far away from home. The possibility of not being able to make it back would have never occurred to them, since they broke their promise to the adults out of mere curiosity.
Maybe we won't be forgiven too.
She wondered out loud as she ate her food. Not being able to make it back home was not the only worry on these children's minds. They also feared that, like me, they wouldn't be allowed back into the fold again. I could immediately think of a number of encouraging statements I had gleaned from the books that I'd read, and then I would be lying to them, something I was averse to doing to these children. However, that also meant that I now had nothing comforting to say to her, being somewhat unforgiven myself. In the end, I simply kept quiet, and she, too, said nothing more after that. When the children who had gone searching returned, they huddled back together. Their whispering voices eventually became softer and softer, until everyone fell asleep. With a hand on the bomb in my lap, I eventually drifted into slumber as well.
Wake up!
I was awake when I felt my arm being tugged on. What happened? The children were already awake, but something was clearly wrong. As panicked as they had been when they first came here. They pulled me outside second to last Defense Academy. I felt the wind in my skin. I could also smell the scent of blood mixed with it. I'm sorry, but I can't see. I felt her hand that had been pulling me along suddenly let go as if she had forgotten that I was blind. Can you describe what's going on? Monsters are coming this way. I think they've realized there are people here. How many? Too many to count. Some of the children were shouting while others were trying to calm themselves down. Some started crying and others got angry. Nobody had expected this to happen. They left their home without thinking too deeply about the consequences. It likely never crossed their minds that leaving was tantamount to breaking their promise. They regretted it. They wished they had never left. Now that they were facing the grim reality of death, they were starting to give up. They resigned themselves to the possibility that they might die without ever being forgiven.
Oh,
Did you find it? What? The way home. Yes, we found a map. But there's no point. We still can't go back.
oh.
Why not? Because of the monsters or because you might not be forgiven for breaking your promise? No answer. Perhaps it was a little bit of both. How about this? I'll hold those monsters back and you guys run away once you find an opening. That's going to work. You can't fight. Hey, you give me too little credit. I'm actually pretty strong. And I even have a weapon. But you can't see. I'll make it work somehow. Anyway, can you do what I just said?
But we broke our promise. Everyone must be so mad at us.
Sound of rumbling and let me fix that. The sound of rumbling and stomping became louder and louder even as we spoke. I didn't need to use my enhanced hearing to know this is clearly a large army. It's the ones we face in our defensive battles, but more than enough to cause a group of helpless children to despair. Time is quickly running out. Convince these children to flee right now. Listen, I won't say everything will be fine. Huh? That'd be really irresponsible of me since I have no idea if you'll be forgiven for what you did. Instead, I'll tell you something I want you to remember. Words from the bottom of my heart. From a person whose life is based on made-up memories, goals, and grudges. Feelings I haven't been able to convey until now.
Forgiveness isn't something dispensed on the spot, but based on the actions you choose to take after the mistake. So the most important thing is, what will you do from now on?
So?
If you want forgiveness, work hard to gain it, instead of dwelling on your mistakes. While there's still time for you to redeem yourself.
What do we do from now on?
I took out my infuser and drove it into my chest. There were likely no commanders among the approaching swarm. I could take a group of minions by myself. Now, go!
But what about you?
I said, go! I shouted at them angrily. The girl bolted at my command, and the other children quickly followed. The steps eventually faded into the distance. Good. Get as far away as you can. The strategy mine wouldn't work otherwise. Next thing I heard was heavy stomping, indicating the invaders were marching ever closer. I weaponed tightly and waited for them to get close. They would be pleasantly surprised to find me here. It's quite likely they would prefer to hunt a planet invader like me over native children. Children wouldn't be pursued. They would be safe as long as I could keep the enemies here. Well, here goes nothing. Ah! Frick. It sensed my class weapon tearing the enemy apart with their swing. Good. Let's let up with bump trap. Right, left, front, back. The invaders started attacking non-stop. Whenever I felt something in my body, I would swing my weapon in that direction. It worked because it guaranteed I would hit something. I kept repeating this while moving around. However... Well, this was a shame. I thought I would have lasted longer than this. I estimated the sheer force of their numbers. School invaders lunged at me as one when I left myself open after an attack. My class armor protected me, but it had its limits. Since my data had been removed from Revive-O-Matic again, I would be killed for real if I continued fighting. But I couldn't let them kill me. They would continue chasing the children if they did. I had to take out every last invader here and now if I wanted the children to be safe. But why? Just my pride, I suppose. Even I had my pride. An effective life by using it to protect someone else wasn't that bad of an idea. Though my efforts to gain forgiveness came a tad too late, I was still a former member of the Special Defense Unit. That's not something I was fighting a losing battle. My current strength, I couldn't fight this many enemies at once. Couldn't even be proper bait or stall for that. Only one thing left to do then. A concerted attack knocked my class weapon out of my hat. Now you've done it. The invaders surrounded me, now defenseless, and started battering me with all their might. Excruciating pain rippled through my body despite the protection of glass armor. I lost consciousness before death paid me a visit. The weight on top of me became heavier and heavier. More and more invaders are piling on me, so that they might kill me. That'll do. That'll do just fine.
It's time.
I reached inside the bag I had been shielding with my body and touched the button that would detonate the bomb.
Huh?
Answer to your question is yes, that is indeed possible. But what would even be the point? Very well. I assume I get to choose which memories to implant. You know, all it does is deepen the emptiness in your heart. Well, I certainly won't stop you if this is what you want. I would have preferred for you to become a proper war asset instead of whatever this is. That is my honest opinion. I asked Siri for a favor back then. He took me to the infirmary and carried out the requested procedure. Memory manipulation. First, I thought about asking him to erase all of my memories. Everything would be gone. Sadness, anger, remorse, everything. It was only right for me to die as my own self, my own buggy, corrupted, and defective self. I was the burden I had to bear until the bitter end. So I made that selfish request. For non-existent memories. I'm just gonna see where he is. There he is. Memories of me having a great time with everyone. While being aware of the duplicity of these memories, that they were all lies. Here I was right now, surrounded by the warmth and happiness I felt back then.
Takumi. Everyone. It's unfortunate. I won't get to witness how things turn out for you. But I'm praying for your victory. No, actually,
Wait, the Rumi's here. She wasn't there for the whole part. I don't remember what. I think it was after Kiyoshika as well.
I'm praying for your happiness from the bottom of my heart.
What a way to go out.
You told me that.
I'm gonna mute just in case. What do you mean Nigo is Pikachu? In Japan. I'm assuming that was the, what is it called? Aito Alone one I saw. Correct. You said goodbye, or, okay, goodbye Aito. Multiple Aitos, so. Freshness. Red Snom. Red Snom. I think that was one of the, commanders. Um, I didn't know what I was getting into when I said it, but yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, I that was a really good route. I think the most interesting part is that it can exist along either of the other two long endings. All right. This ending is very interesting from that perspective because the only real thing that's different is Aito's not there, so it's just kind of a side story in a sense. Yeah, happy 100 days since the game came out, Soul. That was so good. Yeah, that's why I ended up doing this stream, just to quickly do something to celebrate. I figured at least I get one ending. I stopped because I think doing the Aito voice that long may have taken it out of my voice actually a bit. I'm not complaining because that was a very good ending. Like the visuals of everything being clouded over, not telling you who the kids' names, just having them from our perspective basically be generic kid numbered 5 was very good. Just a stand-in for more atrocities of war and just mistakes. Just there's so much I could probably say again, it's like kind of what happened with the second scenario. I would need to have more time to process what happened. But that was a very good ending. Him just wanting to be happy, truly thinking of the defense unit as his friends. I'm glad that it existed because it gave us insight into what Aito is thinking. It's very good. Who wrote Goodbye Aito? Was it Kodaka? How many? Three. Goodbye. Confounded. I keep on getting them in order. I'm not doing it on purpose. Alright, talk to you later. I'd want to see it. Think real quick. Like I said, I'm probably gonna stop because I think the Aito voice really took it out of me. And I was just doing something. Audio. That Carousel. Okay, so it was Carousel. Because I've been hearing about Carousel and seeing it in like YouTube recommended stuff and flying to listen to it, so I'm gonna see, not gonna raid. Oh, why is that so lagging? Well,